What is good, YouTube? We back with another little recap video for this session. Today is Wednesday, May 6th. Um, I'm not gonna lie, today was a little bit easier to read than the past couple of days. I took two stabs at it. I won this one, but it was more of a break even where I wanted to cover calls and all that stuff. So I went long here, went short here, and Nasdaq. So coming into the session, I noticed here that Nasdaq was respecting this 15-minute gap. So if you go to the 15-minute time frame, we were coming into this gap here. And what I wanted to see was, okay, are we going to use this and kind of, because if you notice pre-market, we were just aggressively selling off, right? So I wanted to see if we get to this level here, are we gonna go ahead and just trade through it and target maybe midnight open and 50% of the opening range gap? And then my eyes were on this new day opening gap because it has the equal low stack below. You have London low, you have all that stuff down there. So I was like, let's see if that's an actual target for the day. So once I see this reaction, I was considering going long here, but I just didn't really feel. I don't ever usually feel comfortable taking a trade this early because a lot of times for me, the way I trade, it tends to whip around a lot. And I didn't know if I was comfortable with a 60-point stop loss and then targeting these equal highs. I didn't feel. I was like, let me wait for it to play out a little bit more. And then you have ES ripping as well. When we were up here, I kind of didn't I didn't like the longs. That I didn't like them because at this time, if you notice this consolidation here, let's make that dark gray. So if you notice this section here, that's happening while Nasdaq is ripping, right? So Nasdaq respects the first presented, inverses this gap, and is kind of running away with it. So I did consider taking this off the inversion and targeting these highs or these highs, whatever. It was just I didn't like it because of the fact that ES was chopping around and it wasn't really following suit with what it was doing. So right around here, I said in the Discord, and I'll put the screenshot here, I said ES looks like it wants to take a dump because it was just refusing to get above the highs. We had the SMT. So look at this high here. We had the SMT, and I kind of just figured this would roll over at some point, which we did. So I'm going to get rid of this now. So at that point, I shifted my focus to ES because of the fact that we come down, we respect this gap, we respect first presented, we create an inversion here, which I enter, I believe, off of the this candle here. And at this point, all I wanted to target was a nice little 1 to 2 in the direction of the market, right? And what happened was when we started taking these highs, I go break even or cover costs a little bit. And I know that one of the things that I have to work on that I'm journaling a lot now is if you want to go break even on a trade, you have to at least watch for the PD arrays that price can respect, right? Because if we're up here and we have this fair value gap, we have the volume imbalance, we have the fair value gap, we have the inversion, there's a lot of PD arrays that price can come tap into and still have a valid trade, right? So look at this. This trade stayed valid the entire time. It's not as comfortable as you would have liked it to be, or me personally, but we trade into the gap, we respect it, we trade a little bit higher, we come back into the gap, we're still respecting this inversion slash this bullish gap, and then we rip higher. So I would have had to sit through all of that drawdown, which I'm not too comfortable with. So my trade would have looked something like this because all I wanted was a 1 to 2. So I would have still been in it, but it would have been an uncomfortable hold. So I got out break even, and I'm like, okay, now let's see what NASDAQ is looking like. At that point, we have an SMT at the highs in here, where if you look at this high, ES is trading above it while NASDAQ is respecting the midpoint of this inversion. So once I see, I don't get in right at the inversion because I'm still like, okay, NASDAQ is looking a little bit weaker. YM was ripping at the time. ES was ripping at the time. So I was like, let me see how we react. Once I see stab through, stab through, stab through, creating an SMT at the high with ES, I was like, okay, I'll take this short. I'll trust my risk enough to take this short and target first presented fair value gap. So I enter somewhere right around here, probably a little bit lower. Yeah, a little bit lower. Right around there. Stop at the SMT high because I consider that a protected high. And then I just wanted to see the midpoint or this taken out. Then again, I trail my stop aggressively. I get stopped in profit right here. Ends up going to the target and then reversing. So it was a good trade for me. It was a way better day than yesterday and the day before compared to what I like to see on the chart. So we have first presented, we come up, we have an SMT at the highs. Even though I saw this SMT at the highs here with ES, the only thing I was really cautious about was these equal highs because at that point I'm like, okay, my stop losses should be protected, but if it's not, I'm just wrong and it's gonna run for buy side anyway. I had this inversion marked out too as where I would have anticipated price going at some point if we were continued to be bullish, right? So overall, solid day. Still a lot of stuff I have to journal out. The trailing stop loss is like there's deep down there's that little hesitation of I don't want to take a loss. I don't want this to flip on me. So I'm not truly accepting the risk, which is something that I have to work on. But you know, nobody said it was gonna be perfect or easy or whatever the case may be. So it's about finding that balance between accepting the risk or locking in a little bit and just letting time do the heavy lifting. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Definitely gonna journal it for sure and see if tomorrow we could repeat this and have another good day.